good, y'all? My name is Ferris Abenil, and I just want to get on here real quick and push out a quick video and just be authentic for a little bit. And talk my mind instead of having like a sit down talk and talking from my memory, talking from value. But this is just a heart to heart talk about what I'm doing, why I'm pushing out content, just everything, and kind of who I am and what kind of path that I'm on. But I'm 20 years old. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I took the traditional path of going to college, trying to pursue a 4-year degree. And in that first year, I experienced a lot, made a lot of good connections, some guys that I keep up with today. And overall, I just had a great time. But I really trashed myself in that time. I was constantly going out to the club, to the bars on weekends, just trashing my body, drinking every single weekend. And, unfortunately, I had to hit some lows in my life to make me wake up and realize that that kind of life wasn't for me. That's not what I wanted for myself. And I knew I was so much better than that. And even throughout high school, I always knew that I want more out of life. And I always knew that I wanted to get higher places, but I just didn't know how I was going to do it. So I kind of lived my life on autopilot. I told myself I wanted one thing, but then my actions would take me different places. I told myself I wanted to be making a lot of money early, young. And I was a freshman in college, just getting drunk on the weekends, not really doing nothing. So I started to wake up and I got on personal development. And that's when I just started tightening up my lifestyle. Started studying success a lot. I started meditating, reading, just spending my nights in my dorm. Like my daily life in my college dorm freshman year, I'd wake up 5 a.m. and I'd walk from my dorm room. And this is in the city, by the way. I'd walk from my dorm room to the gym, which is about like a 10-15 minute walk at 5 a.m. It's not like unsafe or nothing because I knew my way around. I was fine. I would run into like homeless people, but I mean, over time they became friends. So I go to the gym and then get my workout in, go get breakfast at this one spot I used to always go to, just get a bagel. Like I wouldn't even go in there and figure out what I want. They already knew what I was having. Like they would make my order before I even came in. And I would get the breakfast, go back to my dorm, eat it, get some protein in, and then I'd start my day, head to classes. And then once I finish up classes, I would go back to the gym, play basketball for like 2-3 hours. I met really good friends there, and that was just a really good time for me. Then I'd go back to my dorm, take a shower, I would meditate, I would read. And then like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., I would go to sleep. I would go to sleep 6-7 p.m. as a college freshman in a dorm, which was, if you told my freshman year that, if you told my first semester self that, I would not believe it at all. But that's what I did. And I started getting on that right path, even though it felt like I was the odd man out. I had what is called imposter syndrome. I continued on that path, and it led me eventually moving out of my dorm, going back to my parents' place, and trying to work myself up from there. And, I took some part-time jobs, started working myself more, and then I got into the actual entrepreneur side of personal development. And that's when I ran into Iman Gotzi's agency program, his coaching business, if you want to say that, but his program. And everyone says so much about it, how it's a scam. He's a scammer. He doesn't make his money for real. It's not gonna let you succeed at all. And I'll be transparent right now that I spent $1,000 in that program. I bought not these pair of Travis Scotts, but the regular mocha ones with the pink laces. I bought those. I had those. And I had to sell those to get the program, and I told myself it was the investment, and I was willing to do that. So I bought the program for $1,000, and in that time, I got into the program, and I got into what's called the 6-week fast track course, and I would start building a business from there. And I was alongside a lot of guys, and I made some great connections. Like, I was working, this guy from Dubai, he was in the same position I was with the agency. Like, he was a little bit older than me, so he had a full-time job. He's a smart guy. He had a good degree from one of the best universities in London, and he quit his 9 to 5 job to pursue that agency. And we were working in the same niche, and a niche is like the type of people that we would work with in our business model. So we were working with the same kind of people, 2 separate businesses, but we were working together to kind of make an accountability. It's called an accountability partnership. And every Sunday we meet up and we start discussing how our week went, what we learned, what we can bounce off from, what we didn't do well. And that was my life for a little while, and it took its twists and turns. I got really uncomfortable. I pushed myself to maximum discomfort by taking sales calls at 19 years old, calling random people that I didn't even know and trying to ask them if they wanted to get on a call with me, to sell them, to pitch them. And it was just really, I got out of my comfort zone. And that's when I started learning more about who I was and actually learning sales, which is a great skill. And just to wrap it all up, I would not trade that experience for anything. That course that I bought from Iman, I believe it was worth my investment times 10, even though it was a failed business. I closed deals, I made money. I made my first $1,000 online, but it was a failure. It was a failed business for sure. Like, I was trying to hit 10,000 a month that everyone talks about. That's what they sold us on. That's what Iman Ghazi, his copywriters, the people who write the ads for him, they sell all the prospects, which is prospects like me, on that 10,000 a month income. And I guarantee you see that a lot of places. We can get you 10,000 a month online, making your online business. And I bought into that. But the reason why that was such a valuable investment for me is because it got me off that track and actually gave me purpose. Because before then, I was just straight on personal development, just improving myself through meditation, reading, like I'm saying, and studying people like Ed Milet, Alex Morton, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, all these personal development just geniuses and people who succeed in their life. I would study them, and then I actually applied it to my business. So I got down that path, and it's led me to, it's January 4th right now, and I always told myself that when I'm successful, when I make that 10,000 a month, when I have a place of my own, I have cars, I have all this money, I'm a success, then I want to start putting out YouTube videos and giving value back to people who are like in my position, who were just like me at 18 years old, where they were lost in life. They knew they wanted something more out of life, but they didn't know how to get there. They didn't know you can choose your life. They didn't know they have that option. And I told myself once I was successful, I want to start putting out value-based content and authentic content about who I am, and actually show that it's a real thing, that you can choose the life you want and your decisions will affect your outcome. And that's exactly why I'm putting this YouTube video out, why I'm posting my content on YouTube, Instagram, is because I want to document authentically who I am as a person, who Ferris is. And I'm still trying to find myself. I'm 20 years old, and I've been on personal development for a little over a year now. I've had control over my life for a little bit over a year now. And I honestly feel like the past 19 years, I was not consciously awake. I wasn't consciously living my life day to day. But now I'm progressing. Like, even the theme of last year for me, 2024, that was the theme of conquering my mindset, habit, nutrition, training. That's all I focused on last year. And I got to a point where I learned it really well. And I had some great mentors in my life who taught me the best ways to conquer that, how to rewire your mind, how to put unbreakable habits in place. That's the kind of content that I'm putting out right now. How to dial in your nutrition, which was the missing link between me being skinny fat and going to a physique that I actually wanted. And then training, just pushing that's something that I'm working on right now, just pushing maximum effort in the gym every single solitary time. So I guess that's kind of my story in a nutshell of the past 6 to 8 months of entrepreneurship, a failed business, leading me to putting out content now. And the whole reason why I'm starting right now instead of waiting until I have the $10,000 a month, waiting until I have the nice cars, money, the watches, is because there is no right time for anything. I told myself I want to put out content for people who are in my position that didn't know they have a choice to actually do something with their lives. And I realized I can't wait until I have that $10,000 a month. I realized that it's selfish of me to keep waiting because someone out there might need this content right now, might need to grow with me, because that's what I'm going to be doing on this channel. I'm going to be growing. I'm going to be showing you I don't know anything. And I used to think I did. When I started personal development, when I started my entrepreneurship career, I thought I knew everything. I was 19 years old. I was so ego-based, but I had to kill that ego. And I realized that I don't know anything right now at all. So that's what I'm trying to push out, my authentic self. I want to show the version of myself that is still learning, show a person of myself that is vulnerable. And this video is as vulnerable as it's going to get. Compared to, you watch the rest of my videos, those were kind of scripted out. Yeah. And although the information in the videos was very authentic, I spent time really piecing it together. But the reason why it didn't feel like talk to talk like this, like heart to heart, is because I didn't feel comfortable with what I was doing. You know, I wanted to put out knowledge. I want to put out value that I knew, because I do know what I've learned in the past 6 to 8 months, and that's what I was pushing out. That's the kind of content I was doing. I wasn't just like researching things I didn't know about. I actually want to talk about things that I know. And that's why I wasn't able to put out a heart to heart like I'm doing right now and being my vulnerable, authentic self. Like those Gumption talks that I put out, I base them as authentic. And that's what I want to do moving forward, is 100% authentic on those talks. So listen, again, I want to get on here and just talk my mind for a little bit and really show y'all that I'm being vulnerable, show y'all that that I want to be authentic on this channel, because that's what a version of myself at 18, a version of myself at 16 years old deserves, is a man at 20 years old trying to weave his way throughout life and learn from his mistakes and share those mistakes with others. So I appreciate you watching this far into the video, and I'm beyond grateful for you watching this video right now. More content like this in the future. I want to give y'all this me, so I appreciate it.